Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Having technical pro. I don't know. Everything's moving real slow today, and it's not my computer. How's everyone doing today? Lots of beats on the earnings. Good morning, Sterling. Let me see if I can find people mixed in. Good morning, Mark. Oh boy. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, David. Good morning. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Mark. Are we seeing the first class in private equities less than full accounting transparency? You can go there, Rick. Good morning, Odie Green. Again, there's a lot of interesting stuff, but again, the markets will continue. Well, they'll continue till they don't. But again, we hit the weekly rotation zone, we rotated up. Now, the next key pullback is going to be very interesting because we've already touched the weekly rotation zone. But we got a lot of earnings. ASML beat, miss, and up 4.66 because why? Well, you know the sector it's in. Bank of America beat, stock up 4%. Prologics doesn't matter. Abbott was a miss, down 3.5%. Synchronicity Financial beat, stock up, not much. Morgan Stanley beat, stock up 4%. Progressive was a miss, down 5%. Citizens Financial beat, whatever. PNC beat, stock down 3.42. That's what else do we have? Let's see. So China, we're not communicating. I don't. Whatever. Whatever. Where was that other thing? Where was that other thing? Hold on. The employment follows boom calls capex booms. Where's the most capex coming in, everyone? Where's it going into? AI data centers. What's the point of AI? To replace people. So that's going to be an interesting statement. Gonna be an interesting statement. About to finish up with trade talks. That deal was announced back on July 30th, I thought. Okay. Again, the markets, we had Powell speaking yesterday, very dovish Powell talking about stopping QE. Oh, they can still have a $6 trillion balance sheet. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Get rid of the Fed. Get rid of the Fed. Get rid of the Fed. Good morning, Anissa. Oh boy. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Charles. Good morning, Ted. All right, there we go. Sorry, it was all the comments were mixed in together. So, what do we have today? Again, we still have the shutdown. We had mortgage information coming out 6.42 for the 30-year mortgage. Empire State Manufacturing Index, a bounce from prior, coming in at 10. We got, Bostic, Moran, Waller. We got the Fed Beige Book, and we got Schmidt. I mean, we got no data, but we got every Fed speaker talking. All right, so that's where we sit there. S&P, it's buy it all. Don't buy Abbott. Don't buy Progressive. Don't buy PNC. Other than that, buy it all. It was buy at Costco and Walmart too yesterday. I mean, have you seen the PEs again for Costco and Walmart? There is no. It's just buy it all. We're back to the buy it all markets. Let's see if healthcare manages. Every sector except healthcare is up. Every sector is buy it all. Buy it all Wednesday. Still, the cut priced in. We're still in fear mode. Dirt cheap 39.65 Schiller PE. Sterling went through what was Dollar Tree? Sterling, did you have Dollar Tree up there and I missed it? Good morning, Royal Palms. Fed speaky speak. Yes, it's the Fed speaky speak. I'm so tired of the. Mike was ordering Pequods. I actually was going to. That's so funny. That is so funny because Gold Belly. I don't know if anybody uses Gold Belly. I use it occasionally, but they have a biggest pizza sale ever, and Pequods Pizza has a sale, and I was actually going to place an order for some frozen Pequods pizza. Today's the last day of the sale. I was going to get a 4-pack of Peacock Quads pizza. So have it shipped to me. Again, there's no Pequods in Arizona. So that's funny. You mentioned that I was ordering Pequods because I'm about to order Pequods. Charles, see, maybe we have maybe this channel's having a mind meld. Oh, I don't know why it was this on earnings whispers. Well, thank you for clarifying. Thank you for clarifying. But it's up at what? Why is it gap? Hold on. I saw this in the gaps. Why is it gapping up so much? What's the news? What's the Dollar Tree forecast upbeat fiscal 2026 backs forecast targets? It looks like they did something. I'll have to look into that more later, but they are big gap up. So good morning, Martinez. I'll have to double check that. So I hope some people, I told you what I was looking at yesterday. Here was told you to watch potentially a 4-hour percent B buy. Again, if you're not doing this kind of stuff, it's for learning purposes only. This is not a subscription service because I don't charge. But here was the movie. Then closing above the rotation zone. Closing above the rotation zone. Another close on the 4-hour above the 62.5. And now giving me the ability to put in, again, this would be in trailing mode. Again, not trading advice, trailing mode. The targets we now have from the low to this pausing bar. We have a cluster to 75% harmonic and the key low area. Why did I use this key low area instead of the closes right here? Because it's a very nice cluster. So 67.44 to 67.48. The next area is the breakdown zone, the 67.68 harmonic to the 67.78. So this is a target area for me. A target area. Once we take out this is definitely a move up stop. If not take, this is a very key resistance area. So maybe take something off the table if you haven't, or well, maybe I'm talking to myself. Maybe take something off the table if I haven't, and then the next target area. Target area. And then we're back to the high area where there's lots of resistance. Pullback. The key support, it looks like we're going to get to cross the 4-hour rotation zone. Again, you don't trade. I don't trade crosses. I use it to keep me on the right side of the market. We pulled back again, 67.10 to about 67.15 is the key pullback area. We are getting a little oversold in the 4-hour. Does that make sense? Just trying to help people out. Again, even with the drop below the daily rotation zone, putting it to neutral mode because we didn't get the cross of the rotation zone. Where do we pull back to? The weekly. Also, if you subscribe to the newsletter, I put out that this was definitely a buy the dip scenario, which we got the dip. Hello, Christoph. Mark's listening. Yeah, I see that, but I just don't know I'll have to check that because sometimes I've seen TradingView be wrong too. So I always got to double check stuff. So this would be one I just have to figure out what's going on with Dollar Tree. All right, what do we have? By the way, the open also right at the 87. This was the gap. Oh, well, it was really a flag. It wasn't a gap, but it opened at the 87.5 harmonic. So that's a very key magnet price on the NASDAQ. Same thing. Same. I mean, for the S&P. Same thing for the NASDAQ. I'm looking at, we're against very key resistance area right now. This 20, just above 25K is a resistance area. Above there, 25,085, 25,155, and then the major cluster 25,239 to 25,265. Also really close to the double top, that the lopsided triple double. But if you look at the breakdown zone from the candle bodies, the cluster areas up here. Key support now on a pullback coming in about 24.9. Again, if we had the bigger pullbacks, let me go back to the S&P. If we had the bigger pullbacks, the next key level would be about 66.85. In the NASDAQ, it would be about 24,754. Yeah, and there's another. Yeah, if you're interested in the newsletter, there's another service too. We're offering on 2 different services. Just email me, pathtradingpartners@gmail.com. Again, I think in the stocks right now, we do some more active stuff in the stocks. I think we're at like a 73% win rate, which isn't bad for right now. And that's not chasing the insane stuff. Dow, which is roughly, I generally average right around, between 70 and 76% for stocks. No, it's not 100%. Dow, again, the bounce in the Dow, all these patterns are the same. Where I'm still looking, we're closing above the 62.5 on the 4-hour basis. I'm still on any pullbacks watching for things. The Dow's interesting because it's got this very lopsided double. Would not, again, this is not a shortable one for me. It would be, though, watching for the bigger potential pullback. All right, and that might never trigger. Again, we have a lot of key support right in front of that level. A lot of key support just above 46,400. Targets 46.8 to 46.840. Then next target is just above 47K. I'd actually move something aggressively up at 47K. Well, who said this morning that it could? Again, everybody's pumping 5 to 10K. Is that helpful? Who said that this morning? Do you have that, Sterling? Who said, I don't know if you saw it. I know you see a lot of news. But who said that gold could hit 5 to 10K? Is that helpful? Gold could hit 5 to 10K. That's a $5,000 window. Gold's not even at 5,000 yet. You just gave a $5,000 target range? That's useful. That's useful. Jeez. All right. Russell screaming on very dovish Powell yesterday. Again, he got to cut rates to help the unprofitable small caps. But we have the reverse harmonics on here from the lows from Friday back to the highs on October 6th. 25,535 was my next minor harmonic. The major harmonic cluster is 25,552 to 25,555. Above there is 26. Just happens to be 2,600. All right. The pullback zone now is 2518 to 2502, the major pullback zone. The minor pullback zone, I'm keeping an eye on this 2518. Jamie Dimon said it. Yeah. The 5K range. Why don't you just say, hey, gold could go above 5,000, 5 to 10? Hey, NVIDIA on a bounce could go between 180 and 400. There we go. I can do this too. Russell could go between 2,500 and, let's call it 3,000. There we go. There you got my ranges, guys. Hope I'm helpful to you. Yeah, boy. We're getting to that again. We're getting to this blow off top. I'll show you, especially with extending the VIX. This is why I like to unwind something. VIX dropping down in the buy it all phase again. No, we're not down below 17 yet, but now we're still elevated volatility. So I'm still on alert for more volatile swings, which can happen at key tops. But the trend is still up. That's why it was a buy the dip. DAX, you know, just watching this rotation zone with incongestion. Again, I got to stay in bullish mode unless we drop back below the 50. For this is looking very toppy, so it's aggressive targets. Aggressive targets. The notes, we have a little, this is note futures, not the yield futures. We do have a little mini double top, which would be a great trailing from this triggered double bottom. If in case it does trigger, it would be a great trailing. Because remember, we're into major top area from before with overbought conditions and cycles back at the top. So this would be at least a great trailing area if this minor double were to trigger. It's the point of this channel to teach. To teach people how to look at the markets and take some of the stuff that I do. Here you go. We got a minor double bottom. We've got some support around that 87.5 and the prior major support area. Right? The major support area. So I'm watching now. It is against the separating rotation zone, so it's aggressive, but I am watching for that with cycles at the bottom and oversold. Crude. This is not a double. It does not meet the parameters, but I will take notice if we can get a close above these highs, which would be above 60. All right. We are at 4-hour cycle tops. We are at daily cycle bottoms. So in any pullback, I'm going to be watching to see if this area holds for a scalpy bullish setup. Scalpy. We also have a little minor divergence. So you see here, higher low in RSI, waning momentum. We got some tailing off in there. So we could spike to, again, the 61 area potentially. Again, very aggressive natty gas. The potential doubles off the table. We have not yet filled the roll gap, but I am keeping an eye. Again, natty gas, natural gas storage in Europe, they have not refilled yet. They're only at 73% full, which is low for this time. So I'm keeping an eye from a fundamental standpoint on some kind of bullish setup. We are oversold at cycle bottoms. We might have a %B buy setting up for tomorrow. Here's your gold. Now, this isn't just for gold. But when I see, and look at the size of this candle. Look at the size of the weekly candle. And look how far extended we are from the rotation zone. When I see wide range candles in any market, very extended from a rotation zone, it generally signifies a blow off top. Do we have a topping pattern yet? No, we don't. However, if we get something, and it might not be this week, but if we start getting these, see how this bar, let me zoom in here. At one point, this was a big green bar, okay? Here was your open price at one point. This was a big green bar, extended from the weekly rotation zone. Then it turned red. Again, we don't have to collapse and crash, but we could get an at least a sideways correction. Right now, extended green bar. Can we go next week and have another one? Sure, but this sets me up for very high alert. We're also trading in another key cluster area. I do not want to be chasing something, especially it's been up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 9 weeks potentially, because this week's not closed yet, without even a pausing week, now things are piling in. This is not when I want to be long. It's when I want to manage longs. So that's something to do a little research on. Silver has not taken out their highs yet. Copper, still stalling out that 50% harmonic. Platinum, not taking out the highs yet. Gold is turning into just buy gold. Just buy gold. And that's when I get very, very looking for at least a trailing level. Dollar index technically triggered the double on the 4-hour rotation, but I'm watching for a trigger on the daily. We are into the rotation zone, back into major support. So this is not one I'm looking to. I'm not looking to short the dollar. Just as the euro. Come on, euro. Double bottom. My mouse is sticking there. Double bottom. Not triggered on the daily against the rotation zone. So this is not one that I'm looking to go long unless we start getting above the rotation zone, which would then be a scalpy long. Okay? It hasn't triggered on the daily either. It's just getting out of oversold conditions with the cycles moving back to the top. So the euro, I'm not looking for longs unless it can really get above the 50, which would be above the rotation zone again. And the dollar, I'm not looking for shorts yet. And again, the dollar, a lot of people are positioned still massively short. Spiders. Next targets. Again, I'm watching today for the close above 66603. That magic 666 level. Isn't that spot on for these markets? And then my targets, if the bounce continues, I mean, the spiders are lagging the futures, but 668, 67, and then a key cluster area 671.30. Pullback areas, very strong support around 665.50. The Qs, key levels right around 604. What's the exact number? 604.13 on the closing basis for today. Above there, 607.15, 610.16. Very key support right around the 602.50 area. Bitcoin. The only thing in the short term that's going to make me look for bullish is if we come back down and make that double top, or if we take out, it's going to be the same trigger point right around this 116K. It depends if it's a double or if it's into the clear path move. But right now, nothing just yet. Besides Tether's major printing spree. Tesla. Not much to talk about there. No major short patterns yet. Reverse on Broadcom yesterday. Again, there's not a lot of great AI setups right now. What do we have? RBRK. RBRK. Rubric. Be looking again, just because it's that support. I need a signal in here, and this is looking like it's trying to roll over. This is looking like it's trying to roll over with no bullish signal yet. So it's not just a buy because it hits a 200. And it's already broken below it once. So I'm going to be, I'd watch this area for some kind of buy setup. There just isn't one now. And you're into very key support. You look at the rejection of this. Just always take a look at the higher time frames. Breakdown, retest that level, rolling over from that level. So I'd be a little patient on that and wait for at least a stronger buy setup, or this could easily get below 75. You could get back in this major buy zone again. What else have I missed? Yep, it's again one comment. We're in that market. It can nuke any position right now. Copper's been sitting against that major, my target of that major 50%, but it has not hit a trailing stop yet. Can I look at LMT and ALB? Again, on any pull, your major supports back in this area. So right there, this is very overbought. Cycles at the top. I'd be personally looking. You still have a gap fill on a weekly basis. If I was looking for longs, there is a potential percent B buy. I'd be trailing that aggressively. That would be above yesterday's high. No, it would actually, that's not valid. Sorry. You'd have a 2-day percent B buy above Monday's high. Other than that, Christoph, I'd be looking to see if this can backfill to major support. I hate, excuse me, I hate chasing stuff when we're very overextended on a weekly at overbought with cycle tops. Now, this is nice because if we can get a pullback into this a key support level, prior major resistance tested 3 times. If we can get a pullback to that, that's a fantastic potential signal. I love this pullback into this area. That's the kind of things I love. If you have something aggressive, just manage these. If you get a rotation up, I'd manage it aggressively on the daily or you have to use a much wider stop and come back to a weekly stop level. ALB. Yes, and from a long term, I'd just be paid. Now, ALB is slightly different. ALB, you had major support, right? Broken, retested, confirmed resistance. ALB is a different story. All right. This could be a more aggressive, especially if you get any drops back to this 87, 88 area. Again, not trading advice, just what I'd be looking at. But you got to do your own research. We have the separating rotation zone, a support area. Not yet. This would be my first target area, at least for a raised stop. Anything back in the key support would be, even if it dropped below that, even closer to the weekly rising rotation zone and the hooking up 50, my first key target area would be the prior resistance for at least moving a stop. And if it could break above there, you could definitely possibly take a run at that 200 week. And it's going to converge with this other target area. Does that make sense with those targets? And look, that's a 37.5 major target. So be looking at the first target, 110.18. Got a lot of alerts going off. Then 153 area. We have, oh boy. My least favorite sector. SNDX. You do have a minor potential double top. Hey, Charles, I gotta grab this. Can we go over those tomorrow? You do have a minor double top, but if it doesn't trigger, this could easily make a run to the 200. With that, I gotta wrap this up for now. You could do a front run here, as long as it's with the stop below that potential double. With that, just remind me tomorrow. I'll talk to everyone back tomorrow, Thursday morning. Have a wonderful day. See you then. Bye for now.